91.9 WFPK Radio Louisville. Kyle Meredith with the world-famous Primus.
Hey, man.
How is everybody?
Awesome.
We'll jump right in here. You guys have, as Primus, been on hiatus for 11 years now, but you've all kind of worked together in that time?
To an extent. Every now and again, we'd get together, do a little nostalgia tour, you know, and dust off the old tunes for the old folks, and, you know, play hot rod rallies and flower shows and things like that.
That seems fitting.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a little odd to say that it's been really 11 years since we've seen you guys. I mean, the tours have been there, but even in some of the other projects, so yourself.
To an extent. I mean, not really. I mean, Jaski and I he's played with, you know, Frog Brigade and various incarnations of Claypool things. But, you know, besides Primus stuff, Laura and I haven't really done much together except for, you know, have, you know, tiddlywink competitions and whatnot.
Which we're much better at. Awesome at tiddlywinks.
Yeah? Tiddlywink champion.
Yeah. Got bruises. Got my thumbs pouring out from it.
How was it then linking up after all this time?
It's been spectacular. Well, I mean, it's not like we've been on different planets or opposing sides of the desert or whatever. You know, we're all friends and we hang out and every now and again, and every few years the notion of Primus pops up, and sometimes we do it, and sometimes we don't. And this time we're doing like a real Primus thing with a new record. You know, Jaski came on board, which has added a lot of vim and vigor to the scene, and the creativity just started flowing. It started oozing out of us, like, you know, like a Thanksgiving turkey being basted. We were showering ourselves with these sounds, and we decided to make a record. So here we are, promoting our new record.
Green Naugahyde, the new record for Primus. I've heard you in a few interviews say this really does harken back to Frizzle, sound-wise, and curious as you were just kind of like you said, just on the tours playing the hits, you know, or the hits for the past few years. Did that lead, you know, really seeking out that sound?
Not necessarily. I think it's more. I think the obvious parallel to draw there is you know, Jaski quit the band 1 month before we made our first record.
Hey, no.
And so, you know, his feel and sound was very prevalent on those first couple records, and so him coming back, there's sort of that Jaski bounce to the music.
Yeah.
Again, you know, the snippety snappity hi hat and the hoppy kick drum, and it's got a similar feel. Obviously, we've got a lot more years and barnacles and whatnot that we've acquired along the way, so there's a definite element of progression and evolution, I think, but there's that old feel that warms the cockles.
Well, Green Naugahyde, like I said, is a new record. Fantastic. We've been hearing it. We'll talk about the record just a minute. You guys mind playing a tune?
Why, sure. All right, here we go.
Everybody I know's watching.
Primus here at 91.9 WFPK Radio Louisville, talking with the fellas here. Thanks for that one.
Why, sure.
Green Naugahyde is the new record. Les, you've got a few themes popping up again that you've had some fun with in the past too. Specifically on a couple of my favorite tracks, Eternal Consumption Engine.
Yes.
And Eyes of the Squirrel. In the past, you've kind of talked about the social commentary and politics and reality TV. Are these things that really get under your skin, as it seems in this, or is this more of just a reflection?
Yeah, I don't know. As you kind of live your life and walk through the planet, there are things that you make observations about that are somewhat can be annoying or just ridiculous. And sometimes they can be ridiculously annoying. So I think a song like Eyes of the Squirrel is more commentary on just what's being observed and how we're all being observed. I look behind you and I see a camera up on the ceiling, and that's a squirrel. It's the eye of the squirrel. Where you can't drive down the street nowadays without a camera being focused on you in some way. My good buddy old Sad Brands, got a ticket going through a red light or whatever the hell it was, and he gets it back in the mail, and there's a big old picture of his face grinning away in the car. So we're all being watched, and we're all watching, and it's the eyes of the squirrel. So
yeah. And oppositely, do you mind talking a little bit about Eternal Consumption Engine, especially that end part, which it's kind of going off on everything's made in China. Is that something that really does rub you?
Well, I don't know if it's so much a rub as is reality as we travel the country in our shiny box, that you pull into towns that were once very vibrant urban environments that are now ghost towns because they no longer make a certain candy bar there or an alternator or whatever the heck used to support that particular town. Now that position, that job, that paycheck is going to someone in Mexico, or like the song says, everything's made in China.
Yeah. As far as politics go, wondering if Sathington Willoughby is up to these days.
What would Sathington think of all this? I think Sathington's selling insurance somewhere in Richmond, California. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Out of politics altogether.
Yeah, you can only take it for so long.
Too many bands.
It's the old goldfish ball. I'd be a terrible politician because I couldn't handle the goldfish ball.
I think you'd be a perfect politician.
You think so?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, comparatively?
Yeah, I don't think so. They'd be digging out all kinds of skeletons from my closet.
Maybe. The band's nearly 30 years old now. Do you find yourself looking back very often? Do you see the albums that you liked more than the others? The
looking
whole nostalgia
back through the
part?
haze,
yeah,
the clouds.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like your high school haircut. You look at certain pieces of music or certain hunks of creativity from certain times, and you go, what the hell was I thinking? And then time goes by, and you go, because like right now, I actually have my high school haircut again, and I'm all good with it. Whereas there was a time when I was going, look at that, what was that clown thinking? And I think we all go through that. So, and you reach a point in your life where all the haircuts are dear to your heart.
So it always comes back around.
Yeah.
Talking to Primus here on 91.9 WFPK. Can we get one more song out of you guys?
Sure.
So tragedies are coming here on 91.9 WFPK radio level. Thanks, guys, a ton for coming in today. I do got to ask one more question. Recommend me a good wine?
Recommend you a good wine. The old Boone's Farm apple wine.
I wouldn't expect
Get some
anything
Claypool
more.
Cellars, man. Come on.
All right.
Support your homies.
Primus here on 91.9 WFPK. Have a great show tonight, Louisville Palace.
All right,
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.